Today's topic is client retention. And we've
Oh, I
touched
like
on
it.
this in other ones, I think, previously,
Yeah,
but we're going to dive deeper today into client retention and why it's important and why it should be at the forefront of our minds when we're thinking about our client base.
super, super important. It's basically the bread and butter of a business. If you don't have client retention, realistically, you're going to have to work hard, harder than ever, let's say.
Yeah, to replace clients. If you've got clients that are dropping off or not returning, you've got to take a long, hard look at your business as to why they're not coming back and what the issue is. So if you've got good client retention, it's less marketing. You're not scrabbling around to find new clients. They're automatically coming back to you and referring their friends as well. So sugaring and hair removal, it
Hmm.
lends naturally to good client retention or to loyal clients and clients rebooking, unlike some services that are perhaps a one-off, like maybe if you go for a tattoo or like semi-permanent makeup, that kind of thing, you're not going to see those people very often. But fortunately with sugaring, it is the kind of thing that people need to keep up with. So I guess how do we make sure then that they are rebooking regularly?
Well, first and foremost, especially with all this AI business, AI cannot sugar, as we see very often, butt creases and toes. So for one positive thing straight away is we've always got a job, which I like.
Yeah, me too.
Um, but it's that whole rounded service, isn't it? If you're talking and educating your client, it's making sure to deliver a full service, you need to be making sure that you tell your client when they need to come back in.
Yeah,
First,
so it's understanding yourself and setting yourself out as the expert in hair growth cycles, skin, when they should be coming back, and more importantly, why. Because we can say to people, okay, Brenda, that's your sugaring done. I'll see you again in 4 to 6 weeks'
occupy.
time. Yeah, bye now. See you again soon. And they might be thinking from a client's point of view, well, why she said 4 to 6 weeks? Like, what? Just because that's when she wants some more money from me. No, then we can set ourselves apart as the expert and explain about the hair growth cycle and why we're recommending that time frame.
Yeah. And I think as well for clients that they can equally get as grossed out as interested in the once we flick that sugar and we see that root, especially on new clients, and the roots are just like ding, showing them. They can be a little bit grossed out at first, but being able to say, look at that root system. Let's keep you on this 4 weekly, or look, there is no roots here, or there's an odd one. We really need to get you in at a shorter time frame. And that will obviously come when, as a sugarista, that you get comfortable understanding that hair cycle, but just being able to show and have that almost like tangible interaction with a client, I think really helps to reinforce this is why you need to come in, or this is why we're going to stretch it, or this is why it's going to be shorter.
Yeah, and I think having that visual as well, it lets them see like the sheath and, like you said, the bulb and everything that's happening beneath the skin that they don't really think about. It amazes me how many people don't realize that there is even a hair growth cycle. You know, when you talk about someone's leg hair, that you say, those hairs are going to fall out. They have a 6 to 8 week life cycle and they'll get old and grow out and be replaced by a new one. They're like, I did not know they were getting replaced. And it's like, well, yeah, because otherwise we'd have like hair dragging around behind us. It'd be like 12 foot long or something. Like it does get replaced.
I think coming from, I don't know, we always feel like we're giving them a bad rep from waxing, but it's just the educational platform that we've come from. Most clients, I sometimes see a bit of an eye roll before I start that consultation to go, why is she talking to me? Get me on the bed. I want my treatment done. But by just taking that couple of seconds to explain, they might be not quite listening. But then as that treatment unfolds and we see the roots, and then they click back into that first conversation, it all makes full sense to them. And then they do walk out kind of going, actually, she told me so much more than I actually even realized. And it's paving that way for that difference of we are here to educate you, and to give you actual results from your treatment, not just whap it off, whip it off, and see you again soon.
I like that whap it off. That's going to be a new, that's a new
Oh gosh,
phrase.
every week there's something, Emma, between the awful wording or facial reactions. There's got to be something, hasn't there?
No, that one, I like that one. We're gonna use that as a hashtag. I think we'll keep that one for us.
Whacking.
E- Expert whappage. But you're right though, and I think when we talk to our clients about it, and I know what you mean about the eye roll when you're going through the consultation and you start talking about hair growth cycles, we'll think, oh Christ, this is boring. But when you've got them on the bed and they can't escape, when you're removing their hair and you're talking about it, it gives you something to talk about as well. Because when you've got a new client, sometimes um, if you don't know them and you don't know their family or what they do for a living, it's making small talk. Whereas that's always like a good way to kind of get the hair growth cycle in there and talk about aftercare and where you're going after this. I hope you're not planning on going to the gym. Hope you're not planning on having sex. All of that kind of thing. You can get them on the bed and you can kind of give them all that information and they have to lay there and listen.
Yeah, no, honestly, I do think that really is the difference between being able to retain a client and not, because you're not just in for a quick fix service. Giving no information education just leads it to, well, what's the point in staying? I didn't get the results. I don't know, understand why I didn't get the results. This is just the same as I've always had, whereas coming in and having that, they might not see the results there and then, but they understand there's a process, they understand there's a journey, they understand that there's aftercare, and that is exactly what helps to retain them because not only is it information, it's creating a journey and it's understanding that they need to be back in. So you've ticked all your boxes, and that's what retains them.
Yeah, and they feel valued as a client as well, that you've taken the time to understand their hair growth. And maybe you're going to work back from, they're getting married or it's a holiday and you're like, okay, you're going away on this date. Let's work your appointments back to make sure that you've got like optimal appointment times in between. And therefore your sugaring's going to last a lot longer for your holiday, your wedding, whatever it might be.
Oh, 100%. I do that all the time with clients, especially if you open quarterly. I will say to them, well, exactly what you just said, work backwards. There's nothing worse than getting them scheduled in now and then realizing they've actually only got 2 weeks hair growth before the wedding. Like, put your date in first, work backwards, and if we've got to extend some or make some shorter, but you can then make sure that that time frame works exactly for the occasion. And it's having communication, conversation, chatting to them. It all helps, doesn't it?
Speaking of kind of big events that are coming up, especially again, because you'll get to know your clients and remember things about them, but when it's a new client, if they're coming and they are going on holiday, it's nice to make a note of that. Whether you use a paper diary or online, you've got like a notes section that isn't usually visible to your client, and just pop a little note on there. Like I used to put like has two daughters, or is going to Florida in August, or daughter's getting married, and I always found that people would be like a little bit surprised when you welcome them back and go, oh, hi, Brenda, how are you doing? How are you getting on with your plans for Florida in August? And they'd be like, oh, oh, she
Yeah.
remembered. Like I didn't, it was in my notes, but
Especially in today's fast-paced world where everyone's on their phone, nobody looks, nobody talks, there's no conversation. A lot of people work from home. It's nice to actually have that conversation and to feel important because I think for most of us nowadays, each day is just a blur. There's no disconnect, is there? So I love that. I make notes all the time. Um, on about notes, obviously, also additional important things such as has a mole on the labia so that you don't sugar it off next time, or told a client to stop using retinol a week before their appointment so that you can go, I did say last time, and it gives you something to go, did you stop doing that? And it is just good because, I mean, how many people can walk through your door? There's a lot of people, names, information, holidays to remember, just putting key things down just to, and it backs you up as well. Worst case scenario, they haven't done a change, they haven't made that difference. Just having that note to say, I remember, like we can see here, 2 months ago, we said to not do this. It's just good to re-jog memory.
Yeah,
Even if
that's a good point. Yeah, because they
outside,
do the
what did I say last time? It's good.
yeah, because clients will I know exactly what you mean when you're like, oh, they've got loads of ingrowns. Did I tell them to exfoliate last time, or did we get carried away with our conversation and it got lost in the wash, or did they buy that retail thing from me that I suggested? And yeah, having it
And
written
there's
down is
so
good.
many things to do for aftercare. It's like, which level of aftercare are we at? Did we just say, let's exfoliate? What sort of exfoliation? Are we dry brushing? Are we, you know, and having that process to know you are supposed to keep notes. And obviously, dependent on your insurance, for 5 to 7 years. So, personally, for me, I am digital, paper free, because I just find it a lot more organized and I can't be bothered with the mess of faffing through folders. But I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with either, but just making sure that you are having the information, keeping it secure, keeping it for the years that is required. There's also obviously a requirement also.
So, the other point that I wanted to touch on is the use of social media and email. So, even if you've got regular clients that come back, I
Mhm.
think it's reminding them why they do come back to you and keeping it interesting. Not necessarily offering new services or different ways of doing things, but just little reminders about why they come back every 4 to 6 weeks. Again, the hair growth cycle on your socials, on your emails, or little reminders about their aftercare is really important as well. Like, remember, I retail this and it works really well for this, just in a little email now and then, not to spam them, but just for general, genuine information and advice and knowledge for your customers.
And again, there's going to be a lot of things that we chat about that we've maybe touched on in the past, but it is so easy when we've just had a new client, they've come in, we've bombarded them with loads of information. Chances are they've only retained 10% of it because it's all brand new to them. So are they going to remember everything that we said? No. And or they've just become compliant,
Complacent?
complacent. I knew it wasn't right. But they will. They'll just get into their own habits and go, yep, this has been working, this has been working. And it could be that down the line, something's not worked. Maybe they never used to exfoliate and they didn't really have any issues. Everything's fine. They're a year in, the hairs have become a lot finer, they've taken up spinning. And now they're like, why are these ingrowns here? Having that email pop through to say, mineral mud, do you use it? Why do you need it? They're going to think, why would I need that for me? And then you list that actually it's really good for drawing up and out ingrown hairs, any irritation, any redness for those that go to the gym. And straight away, they're like, oh, didn't realize I needed this. So it's good. It can just highlight things that maybe weren't on their radar before.
Yeah. And I always think as well, rather than, I know that it's uncomfortable sometimes because it feels quite salesy to be like, I've got this product that would be awesome for you. But if your client is feeling that kind of sensitivity, redness, they're suffering from ingrowns, you better believe they're going to be Googling and they'll head to Superdrug or Boots or online or order from Amazon. And that money's better off in your pocket, selling them stuff that's actually going to help them than them kind of guessing and just buying any old rubbish from, the high street or whatever. Boots and Superdrug have got enough money.
Yeah. And sometimes I do think we are more savvy in this day and age. We do have internet, we do have social media. People do go and try to find things that maybe they've heard terms of mentioned in the treatment room. So muds and cooling and astringent, and they may go to places like Boots and Superdrug and try it. I see this often in the treatment room. And then you know what they say, don't pay cheap, pay twice. Sometimes I think they can feel that how can I say this? They'll go and try other alternatives first, and then they're still not getting the results. And by knowing that you've got your notes and you know that you've said it to them and just say, look, I know that we spoke about it at the beginning. I know you've tried a few other options. I really do think that this is going to be really, really helpful for you. And just having those notes to go back to and say, like, you've tried it your way. I really would now suggest trying it this way. It just gives you something to back yourself up with as well. I definitely have everybody shouting from the rooftops from the sugar scrubs that we stock. My clients love them. I love them too, just to say.
They're just a nice, easy one-stop shop, aren't they? Because you get the exfoliation and the moisturization in one go, done. You're not getting out the shower, then you're having to apply something else. It's all done in one go. It's super easy and
It's word of mouth.
affordable as well.
Word of mouth. I mean, from one client sharing that they love a scrub, which is what my client did the other day. I had two people contact me because they clearly had a second conversation with the person recommending the scrub to go, oh, I love this scrub. Where is it from? And then she clearly would have said, oh, from Sweet Sugar In. Oh, what do you go there for? And then they started talking about hair removal. And just by talking about a product, two new people have been interested in having hair removal. So it's such a small world and it really does make the difference, that little word of mouth and recommendations.
So I wondered about like setting some sort of challenge for anybody that's watched this, because the feedback from our chats like is we really appreciate it, because otherwise we're just chatting here and we don't know how it's landing. So if anyone has anything that they want to comment or anything that they want us to talk about, but what I'd really like from this is if anyone fancies putting any of this into action, whether you start making notes and let us know about your client's reaction when you remember what they said from the last time, or maybe it's that you retail a product to them and it works successfully. Maybe you're going to send an email out to customers where you wouldn't normally. It's just, appointment reminders, but this time you're going to go, by the way, I sell this XYZ and it'd be great for you because, and let us know if you can think of anything, Emma-Lou, that, people can let us know about, just to get some feedback really and see how people are finding these chats.
Oh, I like it. And honestly, it makes me and you can chat forever and a day. But we do want to make sure that the information that we're giving out is actually purposeful. So rather than just, logging in and listening to us chat, if there is anything that is pressing or just something that is not covered, we can absolutely talk about it. So please, please, please do just pop it in. You can message us privately. You don't have to put it where everyone can see. Although, as you should know by now, we're a very friendly, open group. But yeah, definitely let us know what's on your mind and what is at the tip of your tongue for us to talk about next time.
Awesome. All right. Well, I look forward to the next chat then.
Yes. Is that all of your pressing questions for me for today?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Yeah, I kept having a little sly look at me notes. Yeah, but I think we've got everything.
Honestly, I really struggled today.
Yeah. Well, we are going to run out of things to talk about, aren't we? But
Punch cards. I'm just here now. Loyalty programs, punch cards. I'm just dragged down to that one.
see, yeah, like we did cover like the loyalty stuff quite a bit, didn't we, in previous
Yeah.
chats? So I kind of skipped past that a little bit.
I know, that's where I'm at. Like I've been trying to see where you were going down.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Genuinely, I feel like you were asking me questions and I knew where I needed to get to, but I started talking, my brain out here was just blur. And I was like pulling at anything to just try and pull it in. Um, are we still recording this or can you unrecord the video?
Let me stop recording.